All right, we are live and ready to rock and roll. Give me 1 second to share this stuff out, and we'll be good to go. Hello, everybody who's watching so far. If you can, go ahead and share it out. All right, let's go ahead and get that on the noobs group. Hello, everyone that's joining. Give me 1 second. I got one more to go for sharing this. Resin. That. All right, I lied. One more. I swear. Alrighty. So it's 10 o'clock, right on schedule. We'll give it till 10:05. We'll let some people get in here, and then we'll get to unboxing this. Let's see. Do I need to adjust that or anything? I think we're okay. I think we're just out of sight here to where we can get everything going. What else? What else? Let's do. That's not what I wanted. All right, give it 2 more minutes. We've already been live. I guess I jumped the gun a little bit early. Oh well, not the end of the world. It's always better to go live a little bit earlier. I should really start scheduling these things so they're a little bit better spaced. Where can you be? Trying to look for a post that I posted on. Guess we're not gonna find that. All right, we got 1 more minute. Alrighty, so let's get this ball on the roll on a ball, whatever that saying is. All right, so today, obviously, we're going to be taking a look at the Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K. So they were kind enough to send us a unit completely free and clear. So this is an absolute honest unboxing. Let's see what's going on. But even if they did, I'd still give it an honest review, even if I was paid for it. So they also sent us a bottle of Phrozen Aqua Gray 4K. To be honest, this is actually the only resin that I have not tried yet. I've tried other, pretty much any other brand that you can think of, but I have not tried the Phrozen brand, which I hear good things about for structural rigidity. So without further ado, let's get into the whole unboxing. So, as my usual, let's go ahead and cut open. Terrible straight lines. Put that away. Kill myself. All right. So first and foremost, right out of the box, we have put that over here. We have a box that says Mini 4K-S. I wonder if there's going to be an S model. Maybe that's for standard. I don't know. So we'll open that in a little bit. Good packaging so far. The only, let's see if I can do this. No, I didn't think that was going to happen. So my only gripe about packaging like this is if they could package it to where this is opened at the top, so I can just lift this all off in one shot instead of taking the hood off, then taking the machine out and all that other stuff. All right, so there's the hood. Definitely a different color. The original, I believe, was red. And this one is like a tinted brown. It's basically like a tinted window. That's what it is, a tinted color. So, all right, let's go ahead and take this entire unit out. And that's pretty much it. We're going to take that piece of foam off. So just what, 3 pieces of foam in a plastic bag and a little bit of adhesive tape or whatever this is called, some sort of tape. Get this off. All right. Let's put you down there for a quick second. All right, so already I can see some changes with the previous model. If you guys haven't seen I did happen to purchase the original Frozen Sonic Mini because a lot of people were boasting about it, that it was insanely fast and it was just an awesome all-around printer. Unfortunately, after my unboxing video, it died on me. So I didn't really have time to fix it or see what was wrong with it. But basically what was happening is it'd go down to the first layer and it'd power off. And it'd keep doing that over and over again. I'm sure it was a real simple power issue, plug, whatever it may be. But at that point in time, I was just doing, I had so many printers. I mean, you guys can even see I got some printers back there that I got to review still. So I was busy and I didn't have a chance to give it a chance. So I sent it packing. With this one, we'll probably end up making sure that it's good and golden once we get it unboxed here. But for the most part, it looks like it's the same setup. Just obviously one big change from the Frozen Sonic regular Mini. I know they changed them halfway through. When I got my Frozen Sonic Mini, it had the plastic vat, which cool thought process, but apparently it's not very good for resin. It does eat away and basically destroy your machine. So let's go ahead and take a gander at this. See how our tape job is, because I know that's a big thing with a lot of people. So right off the bat, the vat is really, really nice. One thing I do suggest for any and all manufacturers, I love talking into this, is fill lines. That's one of the things that, like with the Creality machine, that was one of the things that I really liked, at least with the vat, is that it had a fill line. Even if they had a max fill line in here that was just printed on, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But obviously, I use a lot of resin printers, so I know how much to fill. And, I have overfilled once before, and it was on purpose just to see how it goes. But for those people who are new to that, that's a great feature to have. So, Phrozen, if you're watching, just one little tip, put a fill line or fill lines on there, so people know where it's at. So tape job looks pretty professional. It is a single piece of tape. So it looks like they just cut around the tape itself. So that's really, really nice. It's not like 3 or 4 different pieces of tape that are just kind of stuck together. All in all, solid design. Very, very, very light. I really like how ridiculously light this thing is. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I mean, given Frozen's reputation, I don't think that it'll be a bad thing. So let's go ahead and put this back on here. And let's get into the little box. All right, so what's in the box? Let's see. Oh, God. Oh, okay. I was scared there for a second. All right, so we have our manual. We'll look at that in a quick second. Some pairs of gloves. That's pretty cool. Not too often you see that nowadays because of this whole shortage thing. A nice little funnel. It'd be cool if these were actually filtered funnels, but that's good enough. Looks like a SanDisk USB cruiser. I prefer these. So all my machines came with, the cheap little metal ones, and they work okay, but I don't like to have those around because they do tend to fail. So I've replaced all mine with cruisers, 16 gigs. This one's only an 8 gig, but that's good enough. Then we have some screws and an Allen key, and then I think these are the feet, which I'm going to hold off until I put it into my my production area to put those feet on, but we're definitely going to need the USB stick for sure. So let's go ahead and get that and put that on box. A metal scraper. I wish this had a beveled edge or an edge to it at all, so that way I can get up underneath the prints, because a flat edge ain't really going to do you much. But most likely we're going to end up getting a flex plate for this to put on the machine anyway, so that way we don't even have to use these really. So that's just one tip. If you guys are going to be selling these in a mass produced, get ones that have an edge on it so you can get up underneath it. Just my 2 cents on it. We have our power brick. That's right. They use a really small power brick. I forgot about that. So that's a little odd because I'm used to like the big power bricks that you get with the resin printers, and this one comes with like it's a power pack. It's not even a power brick. So I'll have to plug this in. I had this all set up because I was expecting a power brick, so I was like, we'll get it all set up. Oh well. We'll just have to unplug that and fiddle with it. And then last, so we do have 2 different scrapers. So we have a metal flat one and a plastic flat one. This one's probably going to do a little bit better than this one because you're going to probably end up gouging your plate with this over the plastic one. And then last but not least, our plates. So this is very, very nicely machined. You can see it's been buffered very, very nicely. Hopefully that is all nice and flat. Yeah, it's almost got like a mirrored finish to it because of that. So this thing looks crazy. It looks like a welded piece. Like these are all welded together. I know it's kind of hard to see that, but if you look at it, you see like the welding. Like that's like what do they call that? Stress welding. That's what that looks like to me, which is crazy. So this is like an all custom plate. It's not maybe not even machine milled, or maybe it is milled. Actually, it is milled. It's just it looks like it's welded. That's crazy. It's cool nifty look. All right, so I think that goes on that way. Or it goes on any way you want. Okay, good enough for me. All right, so let's go through the little manual here. Keynotes before we start. Keep printer and resin away from kids. Obviously, every printer is pre-calibrated. However, we still recommend that you calibrate when you use this printer for the first time. I'll be honest, the last couple times that I've gotten printers, I've just hit print and go, and they've been fine. I don't expect that to be much different in this case. This is weird, that setup. Sorry. Fill the resin vat approximately a third of the way full. Do not overfill. This goes back to if you guys include that that printed piece or maybe even a redesign where there's a cutout here, just a milled cutout for a max fill line. That would be perfect. It's a great little thing. Please clean the model with 95% alcohol. I use denatured alcohol, so it's not really even a percentage that I'm aware of. Use PPE, mask, goggles. We do have the air filtration system going. So if you guys, I really hope you guys can hear me now that I'm thinking about it. I really hope so. Because otherwise I'd be sitting here looking terrible. Okay, good. The audio might be a little bit distant because I think it's picking off this. So, oops. Let's take that off. Okay. Just wanted to make sure because I wasn't getting any audio feed from my mic and I was a little worried there. So anyway, let's get back. Special detergent like the Phrozen wash, which I have yet to test out. Maybe we'll get some of that to see how it is. Because we could do a comparison of wash stuff, because I do have some Monicure wash that I can use. So what we have in the box, printer parts, basic breakdown of everything, calibration test, technical specs. So this has got a 2.8-inch touch panel. So it is. So when you guys think about this unit, it is a much, much smaller unit. So if you're looking for something that's more compact and still provide a really, really amazing printing experience, this is for sure probably the printer to go because of its build size. So let's see here, 2.8-inch screen. It runs Sheet 2 box, which I've already set up the slicer settings. we'll probably not get into that right now. Probably a little bit later down the road. The para LEDs, so that means they're stacked parallel. So that's supposed to be better for the light distribution. So we have AC 240, 50 hertz, 50, 60 hertz, LCD type, and then our printing size, calibration and test. Okay. Test printing. So basically it just goes through on how to print, how to set up everything. And it does have the setup for the Shitu box. So you can put that in, because currently there is not a profile automatically set up for the Shitu box slicer. So basically it tells you how to do a model, troubleshooting, frequently asked maintenance. Okay. And then I think this is in Chinese. Yeah, Chinese or probably Taiwanese, actually, because I believe they're from Taiwan. So, and then just basically their information for Frozen and everything, and Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, what have you. So, all right. That said, let's go ahead and get this all plugged in. Let's get that unplugged. I won't do that for now. And the moment of truth doesn't work. It works. Yay. No, it should work fine. All right, let's take this out. Okay, so first thing I always do is disable that sound because I can't stand it. All right, so we're going to go to info and we're going to turn off the sounds. Okay, so information basically tells you their website, their Facebook page, and the software version that this is currently running. So we have a tools menu that's going to be manual bed leveling, LCD test, vat cleaning, and Z calibration. So obviously, Z calibration is going to be when we recalibrate the bed level. But again, we're gonna go off this right away. I'm going to turn off the light really quick so we can test the LCD and see how it is. Okay, so we have a full LCD. I don't think there's supposed to be any image on there. Didn't show anything. But it did restart. So this was the exact issue I had with my last one. I don't know if it's because I had it angled or whatnot. Maybe it's got a tip protection on it or something. But it's working fine now. I don't know what that was. Maybe just a fluke, or the power's not all the way on. Okay. So let's go ahead and restart that. We're going to go ahead and put in our USB. Shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up. So one pro tip that a lot of people may or may not do, and for obvious good reasons, because, you know, spilling. I usually, because this is a liquid that basically separates, so that's why you shake it up. I usually take it and shake it upside down, swirl it around, and then just kind of go like that, and then go around the other way. That way I get anything that is settled in the bottom here will start coming down to the top, and then shake it a little bit more. So that's what I usually do. You guys can do it whatever way you want. It doesn't really matter. It's not something you have to do. These gloves are just a tad bit big. But I guess that's always good. All right. So let's go ahead and add our resin. And then we got to put our top on. Because, you know, having the top off with my LED light is probably no bueno. Really weird seal, but sure. Not a big fan of these plastic seals on the tops here. I'll be honest, probably one of the better resin bottles that I deal with is eSun, because they have like a plastic insert that you just take off. or take out, and it'll allow you to pour everything. I'm not a big fan of these ones because I worry about having paper get stuck inside of my resin bottle, but I digress. All right, so let's go ahead and add some resin to it. That's good enough. That should be more than enough to print whatever's in there. We're going to put on our fancy little top. Okay. So apparently this power outlet has very, very finicky. So if you guys are messing with this, try not to mess too much with that power because apparently that's very, very loose on that. Again, I don't know if this is my model or this is going to be all models. Obviously, this is a pre-production unit that they sent out to some of the reviewers. So let's go ahead and look what's inside of here. Okay, so we have profiles, sheet 2 box install, and then we have one of files. So let's go ahead and see if we can. Yeah, so they included their typical ring file, so we're going to go ahead and hit go. Okay, so now we are printing away. Our estimated time, well, it doesn't have an estimated time right now, but there we go. So it says 3 hours and 16 minutes. I think that's a little long for that ring. I don't think that guesstimation is right, but we'll see about that. We'll let it print for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll just we'll talk about the specs here. Let me pull them up. So one of the things that that I was really interested about this printer is the fact that it is true 4K, as they boast. So one of the differences between a regular 4K printer and the Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K is the fact that it's supposed to be true 4K, meaning that all the resolution is there 100%. So you don't lose any of the resolution like you would, what's comparative on the market, like the Elegoo Saturn. Okay, so obviously with the Elegoo Saturn, you have, not only do you have it a bigger area to cover, so really even if you're printing in 4K on the Saturn, it's really closer to 2K for multiple reasons, okay? First off, the light source on that is not as good as like the parallel light sources. And then secondly, the size of the screen, because it's an 8.9 inch screen, you know, that gets flushed out. So really it's 2K that you're printing on. Even though it is 4K, technically, by the time everything is printing and the resolution gets evened out and everything, it's a 2K printer. So with that being said, you know, there's some differences between that make this true 4K. Okay, first off, you have a smaller screen. It's monochrome, and it has the LED light source to back it up as well. So that is two major things. Well, I guess three major things that would be, but the LCD screen being 4K and that light source being properly distributed for that 4K screen is what really makes it the big thing, and why it can get the ultra high resolution that it can achieve. So there's some better things about this printer over most 4K printers that are on the market right now. So that's one of the things you will start seeing a lot more of, is people that are producing printers that have that true 4K, because there, like I said, there's a lot of different factors on there. So I don't understand why resin printer don't talk in DPI. It's better for illustration, the resolution of the printer. Yeah, so with that being said, okay, so DPI is colors, right? So that's one of the other differences that I totally forgot about. So one of the big differences between regular screens and monochrome screens is monochrome, from what I'm aware of, is black and white. So the distribution of color is not really needed, because you're utilizing this for a resolution printer and not a cell phone that needs colors, or a gaming system, or whatever it may be. So you don't necessarily need those colors. So what happens is those colors get flooded through, and so you lose resolution on that as well, because it's trying to do all that. So DPI is resolution per report of the size of the screen. Okay, so I thought, okay, so now thinking in types of screens. So there's DPI and SPI screens. And SPI would be a cool thing to have as well, because in thinking in terms of how fast things go, that would mean that printer would be much faster, because the refresh rates on it is there. So that means that whatever image you put on there, it can basically be like here and gone, here and gone, here and gone, here and gone. Whereas DPI is a little bit slower. I might be mixing them up. I'm not too in tuned with the whole screen DPI versus SPI versus VGA type thing. Obviously, we know VGA is a lot slower, but from what I am aware of, how everything is that's how fast the screens are. So why they don't use DPI, I have no idea. Maybe they do use DPI with the monochrome screens. There's not really too much information in terms of how it is, what type of screen it is. So let me take a look here. They do have a 4K monochrome screen for sale. So let's see if it's got any other inside information on that on their website. So so it's just a monochrome screen, nothing else. They don't really say anything else. So I guess, see, and that's another issue with things. So DPI is dots per inch, PPI is pixels per inch. Okay, so that's probably why they use it, because the prints come out more pixelated than they do dotty. Whereas dotty would probably have more of a rounded effect, obviously because it's a dot. Pixels are square. So that way it can utilize more real estate, I guess. Because obviously with the circle, you have all the real estate. So if you put a circle inside of a square, then obviously you're losing that resolution on the corners of the circle. So so I don't know. That might be the reason why they do that. Yeah, see, I'm not too inclined with that. It's better for me to say my printer is as a resolution of 1200 DPI, then 4K can be big pixel if the screen do 30 inch. Yeah, exactly. So that's the whole thing where everybody's like, oh my god, my printer is 4K. Well, yeah, but you have a 8.9 inch screen, or you have a 13 inch screen. When it all comes down to it, that resolution is actually starting to get lost, because the system and everything that's connected to it is basically it loses that pixelation. So yeah, so that might be why they say this is a true 4K, because it's probably a handful of things actually. The board is redeveloped to handle actual 4K output, whereas like something like the Elegoo Saturn that has a 4K screen, that actually originally was packaged with a 2K screen. And I know that Shi2Box probably reworked the board, but I don't know if they properly reworked the board to get it to work as a true 4K. So again, I don't really know. This is kind of what speculation, not speculation, but in terms of specs, I should say, not speculation, is how things are. So, so yeah, let's go over this really quick. So the weird thing is like I'm used to reading these things in millimeters, and these things are in centimeters. So it's a little throwing me off. But we'll go through everything on how it is. But printer size in total is 25 centimeters by 25 centimeters by 33 centimeters. So it is a very, very small printer, and that's one of the nicer things about it, is because if you're someone who's looking to do miniatures, this is probably your best bang for your buck in terms of a printer, because it produces insanely high quality. Specifically, they say ultra high detail. Now, how ultra high detail, I don't know. I'll have to go and find a print that is insanely detailed and see how well it prints, and then print it on one of my other printers to see the differences. I'll probably use something like comparable to an Elegoo Mars, which probably be an Anycubic Photon or a Photon S. That would probably be comparable to like a Mars or a Mars Pro 2. I mean, I guess I could even put the old school Nova Elfin, the first gen Elfin. That's probably comparable to most of the newer printers that are non-monochrome, because that thing has insanely high detail as well. So maybe I'll throw a print on that and see how it goes, because that would be a pretty awesome comparison. But yeah, so far this printer is a lot better than my previous printer, which is actually printing. Hopefully it stays up. We'll see. But we'll let this regular test print keep going and see how long it goes for. Again, it says 3 hours, but I think it's going to be less than that. And this thing will be insanely detailed as well, with the ring that they provide. So let's see. This resin is actually specifically designed for the 4K. Whether or not that's true, I have no idea. I don't really know the ins and outs of resins. I do have a good in with someone who is a resin manufacturer here in the United States. Maybe they can shed some more insight into how or if that's even possible. I'm sure it is, because obviously resin is engineered, so you can probably engineer it to work properly. But it does say that Z resolution layer height can go down to 0.030 to 0.050. So this is meant for 0.3 and 0.5, which I'm almost positive this test print is going to be in 0.3. Usually that's what test prints are, because they want to show you how good the printer can print and how well detailed it is. But I don't really see anything in here that states other that, this is specifically for 4K, other than the branding on it. But it does say suitable for Phrozen 4K 3D printers, specially designed by Phrozen. So we'll take their word for it for now. So yeah, let's get back to the machine. Printing volume is 13.4 centimeters by 7.5 centimeters by 13 centimeters. So again, it's not as big. Let's go ahead and do the conversion rate on this, because I can't for the life of me. All right. So, all right, 13.4 is 134 millimeters. So it's 134 by 75 for the build plate. So that is a little bit smaller than the Creality LD-002R, which is kind of strange. I would think they would go a little bit bigger because they have a bigger screen. They have a 6.1 inch, but maybe they don't want to utilize all that real estate. I'm not exactly sure why. They could, because that would obviously make that a little bit of a better printer in terms of a selling point. But again, there's probably a rhyme and reason behind it. I'm sure they've tested this and made sure that it was as good as it possibly can be. And that could possibly go back to the whole reason why it is technically a true 4K. So, yeah, let's see here. All right, so the definitions on this are 3840 by 2160. So that's some pretty high resolution. That is insanely high. In fact, let's pull up Sheet2Box here and let's just do a comparison. Let's go to settings. We're going to add Elegoo. We'll do the Elegoo Saturn. And the reason why I keep doing the Elegoo Saturn is because it's the only current printer out there that is 4K that's in an attainable price range for the budget market. So let's see here. So we have 3040 by 2160. Yeah, so it looks like it's similar to the Elegoo Saturn. Obviously, the change in size and everything is going to be different, but for the most part, they are the same. You know what? Let's do a little comparison between the original and the original Mini and this one. All right, let's pop that out. Let's pop. All right. So 3840 by 2160 ultra high definition prints at 35 with 722 ppi. That's pixels per inch. The highest ppi ever with a large printing area. So that's one thing. I don't think that Elegoo even boasts about how much ppi it actually outputs. Let's see what it says here, if anybody even has anything. Nope, that's 2K. So, all right, let's see here. That's 722 ppi. Let's see what the original was at, if they even have that on there. Which I don't think they have, because that wasn't really a thing back when they had this. And I can't find anything, at least on the Saturn end, pixels per inch, or to do a comparison on that. I would think it would be similar. Okay, so what? Okay, all right here. Well, hold on here. We gotta have a huge discussion here. A real big discussion. Okay, so it looks like there's a variable on here. So it's actually insanely detailed compared to the Elegoo Saturn. So in terms of how this is calculated, I'm not exactly sure, but somebody calculated the Elegoo Saturn at 480 ppi, which is funny because the Mars is 540 ppi, which, and just saying that in my head now, that makes sense because obviously you're cramming more resolution into a smaller screen. So that would make more sense. But I mean, that is insanely ridiculous. So that means that the Elegoo Saturn actually prints at a lower resolution than the standard Elegoo Mars. Because the standard Elegoo Mars is at 540 ppi. Not resolution, but like pixels per square inch. So the detail on it. That's insane. I didn't even think about that. So there's just some peace of mind for you. Again, I can't really say for sure if this is solid information, but somebody on Reddit calculated this. I know that the Mars is 540 ppi because it's very similar to the anycubic photon, and yeah, that's insane. You can calculate it easy. All right, cool. That's something I have to make a video about now because that's mind blowing to me because I'll be honest, I didn't really even think about that. I just knew that loss of resolution obviously was a thing because of the size of the screen, but that's insane. That's ridiculous. So anyway, back to the Sonic Mini and less about the Elegoo products that are apparently not that phenomenal. Anyway, so getting back to the Phrozen Sonic Mini, so obviously this is a monochrome screen. It's 4K screen, so that's really, really nice to have. Unfortunately, I don't. Let me see. The problem with this is I'm on their website and it's in Taiwan dollars, so the conversion rate I have to do this really quick. So let's see how much a replacement screen is. So that's 2,600. Wow. We'll do 2,700 actually. So currently, for a replacement 4K screen is, now there's two different ones. I wonder, LCD module. So apparently you can get two. Oh, that's for the Sonic. Okay, my bad. Okay, so for a replacement screen on this, so if you damage it, destroy it, do anything like that, a replacement screen is going to run you about $100, which, I'll be honest, that's not too bad. For the resolution that this thing outputs and what you're supposed to get out of it, if you get a normal use out of it, that's not too bad. By the time you should be replacing this under normal wear and tear, that screen should be coming down. So, yeah, I'm on their regular website. I wonder if there's a way. As you say that, I look at it and I'm like, why is this all in TWD? Well, here's the USD prices. It's all right. I'm special. Moving along. All right. So here's looking at you, kid. All right. So looking at price range. So currently on the Phrozen website, this is currently going for $307.15 USD. Which is actually a really insanely low price. Now, they do have it originally listed at $341.29, and still, sub $350, this is probably going to be your best bang for your buck if you're okay with a smaller build size. Because thinking about it, okay, most of the printers that are similar size are going to be sub $500 printers. Okay, so in terms of that, this is going to be the best bang for your buck in that area. So, and even if you can't scrape together the cash for the 4K, the Sonic Mini standard version is just as good. And that comes in at $246. So for $50 more, roughly, you can get a 4K version. So that's actually a really, really nice upgrade. I would absolutely do that in a heartbeat, for sure. Let's see here. So let's see. Just going through the website and what they're telling me and everything. Let's go ahead and where's USD? Okay, there we go. So it says the Sonic. I can talk today. The Sonic Mini 4K uses a minimalistic design that greatly reduces our production costs. Therefore, we offer extremely consumer-friendly pricing as a way to get back to our supportive customer base. And that is absolutely true. So one of the things I will say about this is, like I was saying earlier, it's super light. Well, that's because it's built to be the cheapest of the cheap. I'm not saying that the build quality isn't bad. It's just the fact that you can tell when something is made on a budget, whereas something is made on, you're paying for it. Take case in point, which is out of the way here. Right behind my wash and cure station there is my WeBox Lite 130. That is probably the best smaller printer that I have in my fleet, and that prints at 50 UN for resolution, and it's a standard non-monochrome. Like, this is an old school printer, but because of the stuff that it's got inside of it, it just makes it an insane printer, and it's never really failed. It's failed once, and that was because the screen was messing up. So I took it apart, tore it down, fixed it, and it's good. I didn't have to replace any parts. Still going strong. Avid Madar, can you fire up a test print to check out the noise level? Some people mentioned to be very loud. So it is actually printing, if you can't see. It is a little bit louder than most printers, but not any much different than my Photon or my Mars or a Longer. Obviously, my Creality is a lot quieter because it's got a 2208 driver, I think, in it. But for the most part, it's about the same as a normal FDM printer, if you were to compare it in terms of noise. I don't have a decibel level meter. Actually, you know what? I can use my phone, can't I? But it might pick up because I have my air filtration system set up on super high here. I don't need these anymore. All right, let's see here. Let's see if I can get a decibel meter. I can't say for sure the MK3S. I've never owned one. I've only had an MK2. But I'd say it's comparable, for sure. Like I said, it's comparable to an FDM, maybe just a tad bit quieter. So let's see here. Start. Okay. Set permissions. All using. Okay. Oh my God, there's so many things here. So this is saying about 60 to 62 decibels. Obviously, I'm talking, so I'm making a jump. Let me turn off my air filtration system and let me see. All right, so yeah, let's just call it a 61 for the noise level for the decibel reading. So it varies anywhere between 60 and 62 with the top on. Now, obviously, it's probably going to be a little bit louder with the top off. Let's see how it goes. Oh, no, I hit it. Like I said, one of the downfalls of this is the power. The power is not that great, and I killed the print. So, no power resumed. That's right, it wasn't printing anyways, because I didn't level it. All right, well, now we got to clean this off. And that's why you should always listen to the manufacturer and relevel your build plate. But I, tried to be a badass. And that's what I get for it. So here, let's turn this up and see what it sounds like for going up on the Z-axis. So at its very most is about 65 decibels that it outputs. That's with the top off. That's this raising up, because obviously when you go to do a print, it's going to be quieter because it's running at a different frequency. So when you're manually moving it, it's at a higher frequency always. So that's the best way to test the max level about it. So the joy of resin printing, yes. I'll be honest, I've reviewed over 18 different resin printers, and I think I've had a total of 4 printers actually print the test print right out of the box. So, but again, I usually just let it roll. I don't adjust anything. And here I am. I just took my gloves off and everything, and now I got to put them back on. Hello. All right. So we maxed it out. Okay. So now let's put some more gloves on. May we know which 4? What are you referring to? Oh, which 4? It's on. Like I said, I'm special today. Yeah, I got that. So the 4 was the original Phrozen Sonic. And like I said, the printer died about an hour into the print. And I was using some real heavy duty material on that. So I'm amazed that it even printed anything. So that was one that it printed. What was the other one? The Weebox Light 130, the Nova Elfin 3D, and the Anycubic Photon. That was the 4. EPAX plus Creality plus who's the other 2? I actually have yet to test out an EPAX model. I have been talking with them to get an EPAX over here, but I have yet to receive one. So I've been getting mostly FDM printers. There's one there. There's one underneath this desk. So, and we got another resin printer coming, hopefully by the end of this month. That's a new one coming out. I'll be honest, it's nothing like super special like this, but it is another monochrome screen printer to add to the mix of what's out there currently. So that'll be it'll be a good addition, a better choice for people who are looking for monochrome screens. But it's going to be a hard one because with the price at what this is at, the this is going to be a real hard printer to go up against. So, like I said, I'm going to scour the ends of the internet and see if we can find a print that is super high detail. Like maybe I'll have somebody design something specifically for this and just, use that, but we'll see. Like I said, I already have the profile and everything set up on Sheet2Box. So don't try this at home, kids. No, you're fine. So any of you guys asking, just off the bat, just in case, if you're asking, do I do this with every pour, or do I keep the stuff in the vat? I usually keep my stuff in the vat. I only take the stuff out when there's a problem. Because obviously you don't want any anomalies in your vat when you go to print again, because then that means damaged screen. That means bye-bye screen. Oh God, having a drip all over the dang screen. Again, I'm not a professional, people. I just work here. What am I doing? Yes, exactly. So what this machine is going to offer out of anything for those people who are doing miniatures and things that are super high detail. I'll be honest, it's probably not going to be utilized much for me in that sense, because most of my printers are used for making useful parts. So I have higher end resins that are, structural rigid and things like that. So I don't really print too many highly detailed items unless, I get a customer that requests it. But that's very, very rare that I get one of those. It does happen, but it's rare. I probably get one once a month, maybe, if that, once every 2 months. The last one was a pair of dice, and that came out okay. But for the most part, I print, D-pads and buttons and things for, retro gaming systems. So in some ways, it might help me out a little bit better. But what I really wanted to why I really wanted to have one of these printers is the fact that how insanely fast they are. And that's obviously due to the monochrome screen. So there's our test print. Came out good, didn't it? So we're going to clean this off, and we're going to actually properly level it now. And then I'm going to hit the road because I got to get going here. So I didn't expect this to be too long of a setup here. Yes, I'm aware. Don't use paper towels, but that's all I got right now. I need to go and get some more shop towels. Check out 3Art Guy on Patreon. I will give him a shout out and see what's going on here. Because I know out of the people like myself that are testing, you have Garrett Bertram, you have Uncle Jesse, and you have Greg. I'm going to butcher his last name, Caracas, I think it is. We all have these units, and I'm sure those guys are going to have much, much higher detail prints than I probably will. because again, those guys are geared more for the miniatures market. So again, I'll try and get an actual miniature, but as I've stated before on several videos, I don't usually have prints like that just laying around, or even on my desktop or anything like that on my computer, because I don't print things that just are gonna sit around. So maybe I'll find something that I'm gonna actually keep and have sitting here to look at. So maybe we'll do like a Tron light cycle or something like that, or some Super Mario figure, or something insane like a Spawn figure. That would be pretty cool, I would think. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually level this. Oops, wrong way. I guess there's not really any wrong or right way to do that. But now we need to find a piece of paper, because I don't think I got any. Let's see here. Okay. All right. I hope you guys are enjoying my disaster of a stream. I'll be honest, it's not bad. It could be worse. Like I said, I'm no professional. I'm a maker just like you guys. You see me mess up, you mess up, it's normal. I guess that's one of the things that makes my channel and my videos a little bit differently, is I don't do the fancy intro. I don't do the fancy cutting of screens and things like that. I just do what needs to get done and go from there. So because I don't really have time to do all that fancy stuff like some of these people do. I have a full-time job, so I put out what I can, and hopefully it gets across as best as I possibly can. By the way, if you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for all the current subscribers. Thanks for us hitting a 1,000 subscribers. Oh well, now I know why that didn't work, because the two screws on the right, they weren't even tightened down. So this wouldn't have worked anyway. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to home this. Where's our home button? Tools. Take off the vat, put one piece of paper on the LCD, unscrew the 4 screws. So this one's a little bit different. So it probably won't work on YouTube, but if you want to send it to my email, that's AKUMAMAX84@gmail.com. Please wait till the bottom of the build plate. Okay, so now it says the axis calibration, tighten 4 screws, make sure paper is unmovable, and then click done when you're finished. So for any of you guys that have never leveled a build plate or done anything with a resin printer, so these, in my opinion, are the best way to level this. I don't particularly like the Elegumars, the Anycubic Photon, my G-Tech DP200, those that have a swivel or a ball joint. I understand they have a better, I guess, adhesion stick to level it properly, but then you have to level it this way, then you have to level it actually, and so it's a real pain to line that up sometimes, especially when you're in there and you're trying to get everything all around. So that's a real pain. I like the 4-point system, maybe because I'm used to FDM, and that's a 4-point. My Weebox is probably the easiest out of all of them. And then there's the Nova, which basically has never, ever needed leveling and doesn't have a leveling on the plate. It's real crazy. So when you're leveling it, do the Spock sign. Live long and prosper, okay? So put your fingers down. Put your finger down, edition. Yeah, I watch too much TikTok. And then just kind of level it down. Now, unlike FDM printers, you want to have pretty much no play on that. And it says right there, tighten the 4 screws. Make sure paper is unmovable. I think we're good. I think we got a good suction here. And then hit done. Okay, so now it's probably going to go all the way up to the top. Please wait till the build platform moves to the top, as I just stated. And then we're going to put all this stuff back in here. And then we're going to hit reprint. And then we're going to head out, because I think you guys have watched me enough to, be a normal user. So if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and put them below. I'm always down for chatting. And if you guys don't know, I run a couple different 3D printing groups on Facebook. One is 3D printing for noobs or beginners. We have about 23,000 members right now. It's grown at such an exponential rate, especially this past year. And then I also have a Resin for noobs, which you will see a picture of that Weebox printer with a giant print. That's a big boy printer. That's a 10-inch screen. So the screen is pretty much as big as the base of this printer, which is hysterical. So that's a really cool printer. So this is one reason why I say if you ever have a failure, go ahead and strain out, because look it. You see all that stuff that's stuck in there? We wouldn't even have known that. Now, granted, that's probably minuscule to how the pressure is and everything. But for those people who like, oh, well, I just did a print and it broke my screen. That could have been why. That's a good possibility. I emailed you an example of his work. Cool. Thank you very much. I will hit him up as soon as we are done with this and see if we can get something going. That would be awesome. Yes, I know I'm not using gloves, but we're trying to be touchless here. All right, so let's try this print again. Let's put the top back on here. One of the things I will be definitely making for this when I get a chance is a label for the fronts, because apparently you have to make sure that the front is on the front or the back, because it will not fit. So this is it's small on the front and back and wider on the sides. So, all right, let's go ahead and hit print again. All right, go ahead and try this one more time. Okay, we're gonna wipe that last print, because that's me trying to be a badass, and yeah, I failed miserably. So that's not the printer's fault. It's not the settings fault. It's not the resin's fault. That's user error. So talking about user error, that's one of the things that I like about resin printing over FDM printing. FDM printing is, I'd say, 80% of the time is going to be machine error. And it can be anything, because there's so many different axes, there's so many different moving parts. That's something that is pretty bad for variables. Whereas resin printing, 95% of the time, it's your fault. So, yes, I do have it already. I reached out to Sonic. I'm sorry. I reached out to Phrozen to see if they would be cool sending out a unit to us to test out, much as I have with the Anycubic Photon, Photon S, the G-Tech DP200, the Nova Elfin 3D, the Creality LDR, which actually the machine's down here, that's just the top. The Weebox Lite 130, the Sane Smart Kumitsu KL9, which you might just be able to see the Z in the back there somewhere. That one's a little bit taller. The Weebox Lite 215, that's a big boy. The Hiya SQ3, the Elegoo Mars, the Longer Orange 30. So I've tested out several different printers. I got two FDM printers I got to test out. That's the Sane Smart Coreception. That one's going to be an interesting build. I really like Core XY printer, so that's going to be a very interesting one for me because I really like those printers. I'm just not sure about that. Oh, I also forgot we have the SparkMaker FHD that I just did a review, well, unboxing, not a review. We still got to print with it for a little bit, so we're going to come back around and do like an actual review on it about a week later. So that way I can go through everything and say, you know, this is what's good, this is what's bad, this is what you need to know, like basic heads up. And but yeah, as of right now, just right out of the box, it's a pretty good printer. The only problem that I have with it currently is the power plug is a little janky on it. So 99% it's your fault. So resin printing is like having a wife. Well, no, I said 95%. It is your fault because it's very rare that one of these machines fail. I can't think of any time that I've had a resin printer fail because it failed. I mean, if you want, you can chalk up a screen failure. So my Nova has had a screen replacement. All these other ones have not had a screen replacement yet. And they've had, I have no idea how many hours on them. So let's see. Nice. That's a serious park there. I also tried my chance and send them suggesting to buy it with their $330 worldwide shipping price. No luck here in Russia, though. Yeah, that might be a little bit harder. I know that's going to be an issue later down the road. So like I said, as of right now, the current price is $300 roughly US. And obviously that's not with shipping and everything. And I know they were talking about shipping and having issues. Everybody's having issues with shipping right now. So that's really hard to get things going. Even myself, you know, shipping out very small items like this D-pad. That's something I make. You know, shipping those out and having them get to a customer, even in the United States, is very hard to do. So, so yeah, I mean, that I understand completely on their side, and them trying to get a $30 shipping price range is insane. I know these are really small, but the box size is what's killing it, not so much the weight or anything like that. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, for the price that you pay for this is going to be the killer of everybody. And like I said, I had a terrible time with my original Sonic because, like I said, I had it. I did a review. The review's on the channel. Or I'm sorry, I did an unboxing. The unboxing is on the channel. And literally 5 minutes after I cut that unboxing video, the printer died. So, like I said, what was happening is it go down to do a first layer, and then it turn off. And that's it. And then it would restart. And then it would just stay there. So I'd have to raise it back up and go back down, start the next print, do the same thing over and over. Again, I probably could have fixed it, but I was just doing so many things at one time. I didn't have time to fix it, so I sent it packing. So I'm sure it was a real simple fix. It is what it is. It's not like I don't know how to fix printers. I have about one, two, three, four, five. I have about 7 printers in the corner that are returns from Amazon that are probably just a simple clog or whatever it may be. But I fix printers up all the time and resell them. So I do have printers. Much like this printer over here that I have to make room for because, as you see, my area is all taken up. So I have a big printer. It's got a 10-inch screen. It's 2K resolution. It's 215 by 135 by 200, and it's called a Hiya SQ3. And I'm selling that thing for $500 with shipping. Shipping, I think, is around $50 to $80, depending on where you are. It does have a cracked top, but that's it. It prints perfectly fine. So, but it's a bigger printer. I don't use it as much as I do because I have my other big printer here. So, is eSun good? Yes, eSun is very, very good. If you guys can't see, a lot of people use eSun. So this is a Monocular resin bottle, but that's eSun. As you can see, there's an eSun resin bottle right there. So one of the cool things about eSun is when you use their eSun resin, so most of these you take the cap off and there's resin right there. Everything's open. So I see all the time that these tops explode. That's because of pressure and temperature differences all the time. With eSun, there's actually a stopper. It's a plastic stopper that goes in there, rubber more or less. Stopper that goes inside there to keep it not only fresh, but it keeps that from popping that top off too. So I've never had an issue with eSun resin. Works perfectly fine. In fact, when I had the Sonic Mini here, when I was doing the unboxing for it, that's the resin that I used. In fact, I have it right here. It's a blue color, and it's hard, tough resin. And I really haven't used it since because I thought I broke the printer at first while using it because I thought it was so strong, but apparently not. So, yeah. Yes, 35 micron goodness. That is what makes this thing shine. So I actually, now that I have some new information about some other printers, I'm going to do basically a chit-chat video on my thoughts on current printers on the market and everything. So I seen eSun resin. What does that mean? I think somebody was just asking about eSun. That's all. So this is the test print. This is their ring. And it says that it will take 3 hours and 11 minutes. Now, when I say that, this is a fast printer. This is very, very fast, this printer. So that was one of the things that caught my eye is how fast it prints, because I have a few prints that are very, very hard to print on these printers here. And I wanted to see how it would fare on a faster printer with a higher detail. So it does not have a protective glass that I'm aware of. We're printing right now, so I can't really see that. But if you want to check out my Instagram, I can send some pictures once this is done later tonight. Yeah, go on Instagram and look up Akuma Mods, and yeah, I'll put a picture up there for you guys. I did not see any, but it did not look any different than a regular screen, so there might be a protector on it. Did you use any PTFE lubricant prior to pouring in the resin? That is a great question, and an answer I will give to everybody. You will not need any type of lubricant on the FET film at all. You will not need any type of lubricant or additive or anything on the build plate at all if you have your proper resin settings. So what I mean by that is there's a resin calibration matrix that you can use for any resin printer. Takes about an hour to dial in these Chinese resins. And that's only because the exposure time is from 8 seconds to 15 seconds. So it takes me about an hour to dial in the resin settings for this. And once I do that, I do not need anything. It will always stick to the plate. My supports will never fail as long as they are properly supported. Again, user error. That is one of the hardest things that anybody, including myself, still struggle with is supports. I haven't had a support really fail, but it's more or less like it separates at some point. So it still prints it, but it does separate, and then you get sagging. So yeah, if you do proper resin settings, you will never ever need to use any type of lubricant. Can you use it? Is it okay to use it? Yeah, absolutely. If that makes you have a little bit more peace of mind, by all means, go ahead and do that. That's perfectly fine. I have no problem against it. But for those people who say, "Oh, just do this," you don't have to do that. Don't sand your build plate. Don't use any type of like Rain-X or lubricant on the FET film if you are having issues with it adhering to the plate, because most likely that's underexposing, and that's the reason why it's not sticking to the build plate. So, Isan Resin saying it PLA resin. What do they mean by that? So, this is a whole trans. What is the word I'm looking for? A transfer? No. Translation. God. So it's a whole translation thing. So what they mean by PLA is they mean it's bio. It's safe resin. It's like PLA. It can be used. It's a breakdownable resin. So that's why, if I do go with eSun, I do go with their bio resin, their PLA, because it is a nice product. It prints very well. It's an eco-friendly resin. That's more or less what that's there for. Why they called it a PLA, I don't know. I'm guessing because PLA is eco-friendly. So yeah, so that might be what they were talking about. Yes, 3D Print Farm showed the whole process. That's good. That's good. Very good. For bigger pieces, the lube is supposed to minimize warping. I'll have to test that out because, like I said, one of the reasons why I got this printer is I have a part that's very, very hard to print, and I've had it warped no matter how I've had it orientated so far. So that would be interesting to see if that's the case. Photon S had serious problems with protective screen. They made it twice thicker than regular Photon, which leads the awful distortion and flooded blurry prints. That's why I'm asking. Gotcha. I was unaware of that. I have a Photon S right here. I also have a regular Photon. So I never noticed that. I know that when you were asking about, a protective film, the only thing that came to mind was a lot of people with the Elegoo Saturn and the Elegoo Mars that have monochrome screens. They have issues where it scratches easily. Hopefully that's not the case, but the difference between this and like the Elegoo Mars and the Elegoo Saturn, it's not a slide-in plate. This is a set down and lock. So that might be the reason why they keep having consistent issues, because it's a slide-in. And that's a big problem for a lot of people, because if it's not properly leveled on the sides there, then you're going to keep having that issue. So, so the best way to remedy that situation for those that have scratching, put some tape on the sides where the VAT, or I'm sorry, where the LCD is not. Put some extra tape on there, relevel your build plate, obviously, and then you should be in better spirits in terms of scratches and things like that. So yeah, I was unaware of the Photon S though. I know Elegoo's been having some serious issues with their printers, whether it be light source issues where things are, not showing up correctly. If you guys joined me earlier, I showed off the LCD screen on this, and it was fine. I didn't have any any variable spots or anything like that. So this came out very, very well. So yeah, it's good. It doesn't have any issues that have been coming up. In fact, I've tested out all these printers for that, and none of them have that issue, except for the new one I just got, the SparkMaker FHD, which that has some serious issues where, like the Elegoo, where it had like cross lines on it because of the LED matrix, that has a major problem with that. I don't know if there's a way that that can be fixed, because the problem is the base is this thick, the LEDs are like this tall, and the screen takes up, you know, this little bit. So there's very, very little room to adjust that or make it work. So, so yeah. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna head out here. It's 11:30. I got to start getting ready for work and start my day off. Yes, I work a midday shift, so it's fun times. But I wanted to get this out there and show you guys off, and let you guys all know that I have it. Stay tuned for more pictures of prints and things. And yeah, thank you for linking or sending me that information to my email. Let me just check that I have it. I don't know if I have it. Yep, I got it. Okay, so thank you, Aviad? Aviad? That's your name? Sorry, I'm probably cannibalizing it. So, thank you, Aviad Madar. Jeez, I'm terrible. Thank you for linking that guy. I will talk with him after this and see if we can get a cool print to go on this for once and show it off. So I'm printing scale model parts and removing protective glass from my S made huge difference in quality. Cool. All right, yeah. So without further ado, that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's plenty of other printer review videos, unboxing videos that I have on my channel. If you're interested, go ahead and take a gander. I also have some gaming stuff on there too, because, you know, I dabble in the retro gaming world. So I do a lot of stuff with that. So yeah, until next time, guys, happy printing.